Would you say your experience at the Captain Phillips Memorial was, where would you rate that out of your 50 hunts on things that went down?
Probably my worst experience I've ever had. The one that made me actually kind of think like, oh, I'm kind of messing with something that's a little bit out of my control.
Hello and welcome back to Spirits with Spirits, the show where my partner Joe and I do our own personal deep dives into all things paranormal, and we have a few drinks along the way.
I'm not excited about today. I am, but I'm kind of scared.
I'm pumped for this one.
I'm kind of scared.
So today we are going to the Captain Phillips Memorial in Saxton, Pennsylvania. A little history on this. Our local paranormal expert Mick actually said this is the most active place he's ever been to when it comes to paranormal activity. Little history. 1780, Captain Phillips was actually commissioned by Colonel John Piper to get a whole gang of badasses to protect the Morrison's Cove and Woodcock Valley area. Okay. So he went out and just got like a whole squad of commandos, like local dudes that he just thought were pretty hardy, like ready to rip. His son was on the team, just stuff like that. So they go to bed, they get snuggy, everything's cool. They wake up and there is a small army, I would say, around their house of 50 Native Americans and 2 white men that they had as interpreters. At this point, they're like just pooping their pants. Cause like, what do you do?
Yeah.
So they kind of had like a stare down out of the window, and they just kind of like locked eyes with each other, and it was just very uneasy in the air until one of the Native Americans fired a bullet at the house from one of the rifles that they had in their platoon there. And they said after that it was just a shit show. There was literally just raining arrows and bullets all over this house, and like they were doing their best, but like, you're pinned down, what are you doing? Like nothing. So they're just getting blasted.
50 people against how many people was with Captain Phillips?
Not 50.
Not 50.
Enough to comfortably chill in a house. Anyway, the barrage only had like a small moment of unrest after one of Phillips' men landed a cheek shot on one of the Native American chiefs. And they were just like, that's it, dude. That's it. And they lit that house right on fire. They were just cooking them like lobsters at that point. So they had to surrender. The Native Americans did take them as prisoners of war, especially because Captain Phillips and his son, who was with this platoon of sorts of commandos, they were more valuable to them alive than dead at this point, since they were higher ranking people. And eventually they did get out of being prisoners towards the end of the Revolutionary War, because there was no point anymore. And I think that one or both, the son or both of them, went back and lived in Williamsburg.
Which is surprising, because like, why is it the Captain Phillips Memorial if he survived after the attack?
Typical history. Celebrating the wrong folks.
Yep.
Human remains everywhere. People still occasionally find stuff there. It's kind of wild. But after the fact, people go to visit recreationally, but people also claim to hear like faint war drums in the distance. They see silhouettes of headdresses and everything else, and they think that the Native American spirits are guarding and protecting this place. We actually got lucky enough to find an eyewitness to some of the phenomenon that allegedly occurs there.
More than an eyewitness.
More than an eyewitness. She went through some shit.
Yeah.
She went through some shit. And frankly, if I went through half the stuff that her testimony provided, I'd poop myself.
Yeah.
I had my back facing the monument. There was a person on this side, one in front of me, monuments directly behind me. And I felt kind of like my stomach drop, and I was like, something's like really off. I'm like, let's just go. And out of nowhere, it was like I got pushed, and it wasn't like a push that was anything I've ever felt in my life. It kind of like, I felt like I levitated for like 2 seconds, if that makes sense. Like, my cousin explains it that I looked like I was a banana flexed up in the air.
A flying banana.
Yes, a flying banana. And then I like came down, and I just like burst into tears. And I was like, I want to go. Like, and then I started getting nauseous. I started getting really sick. We get to the top of the mountain. I said to my cousin, I was like, we got to pull over. We got to check this out. And we lifted up my shirt, and it was bright red. There was 3 lines right down the middle of my back. And yeah, that was pretty much one of my last ghost hunting experiences.
After you got pushed and scratched and stuff, did you ever feel like afterwards there was anything lingering around?
Yeah, for a very long time. Very long time. I did a lot of sage cleansings. I had a lot of unexplained things happen at my house. I had friends that wouldn't stay at my house because of how creepy it was. I actually ended up moving because I freaked myself out so bad.
So right here is the exact location. Come in, Kara. Is the exact location that Jen was pushed. And she says that her back was facing the monument, right?
Correct.
That's like one of the rules around here is don't face your back towards the monument. All right, so it's very, very hot out. That's what I learned. We just trekked behind the memorial because that's where Mick said a lot of activity is at, but there's really nothing behind there. Like around here, you have a lot of stone structures that at least used to be there. Nothing up there, just wooded area. So
I think we're gonna do the mag light interview tests on them to see if they can get anything, because frankly, if they're strong enough to push Jen through the air, theoretically, just moving that little cat back and forth, all it needs to answer questions appropriately, I should be able to get like names, dates, etc.
Yeah.
I don't know Morse code, or I probably wouldn't be able to, but anyway, we're gonna do spirit box session. Anywhere in this platform here, we are within 10 feet of the corpses of the soldiers that lost their lives during the events that occurred here.
Yep.
Which at the location that we're interviewing, which is to my immediate right, we'll only be standing about 2 feet away from them, directly over where they're buried. So,
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, what was that?
Did you hear that?
Yep.
I didn't hear
It was like a large, loud stomp.
Yeah.
It was right over here.
And I didn't want to say anything because you guys were recording,
That
but I
was a
heard like
loud
a
fucking
big huff behind me.
behind you.
It was over here.
So all around.
I heard a big huff, but I didn't want to say anything until you guys stopped recording.
Might have been able to get it on the video,
We might have.
and the actual camera
So
audio.
for those at home, none of this is scripted. I am a natural skeptic of all this shit, so like I want to be right. But
That was just
our
really,
crew and Joe just both heard something.
that was really distinct.
So we're gonna try a couple things here against the wall, because Mick said a lot of the stuff is back here. We're also gonna try it at the stairs where our witness Jen got pushed. We're at the exact site where she got pushed. And then again, even at the stairs, you're only about 8 feet away from the corpses. So we'll see what we get. Ooh.
Here, can you light this up? Just gotta come near me.
Did you hear that? Like almost sounded like fucking Predator, like the, like it was rattling.
That'd be a frog. No, it moved too fast to be a frog.
It moved?
Like
It was over
it.
here and then it kept going.
Oh, I didn't hear it move, but I heard a.
Yeah.
There's basically no explanation that we could come up with for this sound. Nobody was moving when it happened. There was nothing on the camera or the tripod that was rattling that would have made that sound. And like Kara said, she heard it moving. So we have no explanation for this one. Just gotta come near me. Just gotta come near me. Just gotta come near me.
You know, we were told not to put our backs to this.
So we ended up getting nothing else on the cameras or the EMF detector aside from bugs. So we decided our best move was probably going to the spirit box next.
Are you trying to tell us something? Run? Make me. What are we running from? The outsiders?
Dead soldiers.
Dead soldiers?
That's what I heard.
I heard a 2-syllable word, but I wasn't sure. I thought it said outsiders. But I could definitely see how it would have been dead soldiers. Are we running from dead soldiers? Make us run. Give me a show.
Just got really cool.
It did get cold. Let's go.
So in conclusion, our investigation of Captain Phillips Memorial was probably the most terrifying one yet. However, we did not come back with any conclusive evidence, so we can't even say the place is haunted for sure or not. But at the end of the day, we all felt something there. It was a super creepy place, and for sure we're going to have to go back for season 2. So, like, subscribe, click the bell, and make sure to tune in next time for the next episode of Spirits with Spirits. Next week on Spirits with Spirits. We can't see anything in front of us, and it's awesome. So, I guess we'll search for a demon now. That seems about right, right?
Seems like the logical thing to do.
Yeah, it seems like the cool thing to do, so